Morning, guys. Okay, so it's 5:46 in the morning. I've been up since 4 a.m. I did my meditation practice, and sometimes I just wake up with bursting energy and I'm like, I just got to get it out now. So I may be a little soft-spoken in this video, but there are a few updates I want to share with you, a few interesting experiences that I want to unpack in this video. Um, Mainly one thing, because there was one particular thing that happened twice, and this pertains to the creative freedom, the self-growth journey. So I want to talk about it, and then share about some other random updates with you. So something happened on two of my different platforms. It happened here on YouTube, and it happened in my private beta creative freedom community, where I shared a certain form of expression, and I really kind of opened up about, a process that I was going through, namely kind of sharing the business funnel that I've been working out, brainstorming my dream creator business, this sort of thing. And I shared this as kind of like a teaching moment. And then, I started to second guess it, and I ended up taking both of these posts down. Okay. And I basically thought that maybe it was like too much. Okay. Even though, and I actually went back, and it's the Creator Mind Map episode 2 here on YouTube is the video that it happened with. I've actually since reposted it. But I actually went back into this video, and I had this beautiful explanation about how I wanted to teach from my process and not pretend like I had it all figured out and practice this radical honesty. So I had a good rationale for creating and posting that video, and then I think I kind of had one of these vulnerability or shame attacks, or this recoil effect that I want to talk about in this video. So check this out, guys. I'm going to go full teacher mode. So beware the recoil effect. Okay, so basically this is us, and we have this like comfort zone. And like within this comfort zone are actions that we are comfortable taking. Okay? And if you're on a self-growth journey, or if you're trying to achieve creative freedom online, you're going to have to go outside of this comfort zone. Okay? Because if you're used to only sharing a certain thing online, but you want to, suddenly step into being more authentic online and sharing your gifts and sharing your wisdom, for example, you're going to have to bust out of this thing. So I've been drawing it like this. You're going to have to bust out of this comfort zone. And I call this a growth behavior. So like an example can be showing up raw and authentic online. This is a big practice that I've done. You break out of what you thought was possible for yourself. This comfort zone, this border here, this is like, what we think is possible for us. Oh, my face is blocking. There we go. What we think is possible for us. In other words, this like layer, this wall that it feels uncomfortable to go past, it's a set of limiting beliefs. Okay, so all you have to do to to do one of these growth behaviors, you just have to generate enough motivation and belief in yourself in order to just do it. And this growth behavior outside of your comfort zone 100% of the time will be uncomfy. Okay, so for example, if you want to start a YouTube channel, but that's outside of your comfort zone. When you post your first YouTube video, 100% guaranteed it's going to be uncomfy. So a lot of people make the mistake of letting this hold them back, okay, which is a major, major mistake, because this is a fact of life. If you want to leave this comfort zone, you have to break out of your, layer of limiting beliefs. It's going to be uncomfortable because you're, out here is the unknown. Okay, and we're scared of that. The mind wants to stay in this comfort zone. Okay, so doing any growth behavior is very significant. And then what I've, been bringing my attention to lately is this recoil effect. And I kind of touched on this in the last video when I was talking about the raw and authentic challenge that I did on Instagram. And I, broke through my set of limiting beliefs. But then when I was done with the challenge, I went back into my comfort zone. So basically, let me try to draw the recoil effect. It's basically like, okay, you break out of this and you enjoy all this freedom, but then you're like, actually, I'm going to go back. Like, I take it back. And it's because, out here, it's very, when you do a growth behavior, when you take a step outside of your comfort zone, you start to realize, like, oh my God, there's freedom. Like, I can actually, I'm capable of so much more than I thought. And that can be very scary. It's like, oh my God, I'm capable of so much more than I thought. And it almost, when you're out here outside of your comfort zone, it almost asks you to keep going, to keep shedding the old way, to keep getting rid of all of those limiting beliefs. And if you're not ready for that, it can be frightening and it can be tempting to run back into your comfort zone. And I've experienced this multiple times in multiple ways, in multiple magnitudes, multiple different time scales. I think the example of sharing a YouTube video I was very passionate about and then unlisting it, that's a micro example of this phenomenon. Totally. And then a bigger example in my journey is, I stepped out of my comfort zone and I started coaching last year. And then at a certain point, I got totally scared, totally freaked out, and I went back into my comfort zone of, being this influencer, this perfectionism, this people pleasing, back to an old business model that wasn't suiting me anymore. So isn't this fascinating? And now that I've been through this cycle enough times, first of all, I think it's okay. It's okay to repeat this cycle. Sometimes that is the growth process that we have to go on. I'm constantly telling people, the people I work with and in my content, that this journey is like a spiral staircase. Like, sometimes we have to repeat the same lessons again and again for them to really solidify. But now that I've seen this pattern so many times, I'm like, okay, next time I'm getting better and better at, when I do these growth behaviors, let me just stay out here. Because that discomfort is growth happening. So what I'm leaning into and what I want to invite you to lean into is just to allow this discomfort. I'm trying to get this so you guys could see it, but it's not letting me move it up. Here, what I could do is this. There we go. And literally, here's a perfect phrase for what I'm trying to embrace and what I recommend. Stay out there, guys. You know, beware of the recoil effect. Be prepared for that to happen when you do something brave, when you step out of your comfort zone, when you step into something new. Be prepared. The mind is going to try to convince you to go back to your old way. But see what you can do about staying out there. Just stay out there. If I stayed out there last year when I first got into my coaching business, now instead of kind of just getting back into it, I would have been doing my coaching business for a year straight. But I didn't stay out there. I went backwards again, because it's this spiral staircase. I reinforced a lesson. Now I'm coming into the business that I want to, come into with even more passion and courage because I learned this lesson again. But yeah, if I had known what I know now, I would have stayed out there despite the uncomfortable feelings and sat through those uncomfortable feelings, allowed the growth to happen, keep moving forward one day at a time, one step at a time. And again, I've told you guys, my sort of giving up or retreating back for me happened to coincide with getting back into drinking alcohol and smoking weed. So that's also been a motivation piece for me, is to stay sober. And that's why this idea of consuming less has become an integral piece of my overall holistic philosophy on achieving and maintaining creative freedom. So just to throw that out there as well, because this is a holistic thing. And so, yeah, so I experienced this whole phenomenon again with those videos that I posted. And I kind of had, the shame attack, the vulnerability attack, the recoil effect. But, I got super, super lucky actually in both instances. So in my beta creative freedom community that I've been doing weekly group calls, I posted that video, very similar to the YouTube video actually, but with a little more detail and, zest. It happened there. And then I got into a one-on-one conversation with someone in that community, and we started, talking about these insights that I had shared in that video. And I was like, wow, it would be perfect to direct this person to that video that I posted, but I actually had taken it down out of this shame and fear and recoil effect. And then with the YouTube example, I was on a live stream yesterday, actually actively just hopped on a live stream just to kind of push through that discomfort of doing live streams, taking another growth behavior, doing the live stream. And on that live stream, someone was like, hey, where'd that video go? And I was like, someone enjoyed that video enough to mention it on the live stream and ask where to go. And it kind of snapped me. These two interactions kind of snapped me into this realization. I was like, oh, I did a fear thing. Okay. And then I put both the videos back up, and I feel good about that decision. So I just kind of wanted to walk you through that, just to be aware of the recoil effect, because it's something that I just did. I hope I'm not being too loud, by the way, for the neighbors. Sorry, neighbors, if I am. Now I'm self-conscious about being too loud, but I got pretty passionate there, so I'm happy about that. There's one more thing I wanted to show you guys that I actually meant to show you in one of the previous videos, but here in OBS, when I switched to the screen recording, I actually had my mic settings wrong, so that part was muted. But So here's a little update on my side hustle journey, the product review side hustle that I do. So, because I've been having a lot of fun showing you guys the studio, this no editing studio, and I just unlocked a new kind of skill here that I want to show you. So, here's a brand deal video that I did for these pair of pants. And, what I've already unlocked up to this point is I have this face camera shot here, and then I can just press a button and switch to this iPhone overhead shot. But here's the new skill I unlocked that I tried to show you in the last video, but I messed up my mic settings. Check this out. Where is it? Here we go. Okay, right here, I pressed a button and switched to a preloaded iPhone clip of me modeling these pants. So I just wanted to share that because I thought it was really cool that I unlocked another layer of being able to create these videos with no editing, or it's actually called live editing, but it's just been crazy to significantly shrink the amount of time it takes me to make these review videos, which is just freeing up more and more and more of my time and energy to dive into my passion right now, which is creative freedom, and spreading creative freedom throughout the world, building my business, etc. So I just want to show you that. So yeah, I just think it's so cool that I was able to create this whole video with no editing. And here you'll see me just switch back. Yep. Switch back to the face shot. So yeah, that 2-minute video, perfectly suitable for what the brand needed, and I didn't have to edit anything whatsoever. And yeah, I just wanted to mention that, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else I have to tell you guys. 6 o'clock in the morning now. Yeah, so if anyone's interested in a long-term mentorship container, I'm really, really passionate about this. And I'm seeking aligned people who it's a good fit for, where we can really get into this work of unlocking creative freedom, and that can look different ways for different people. So if you feel that kind of pull and alignment, what I've been doing is a free 30-minute connection brainstorming strategy call. So info for that is in the description. And I'm brainstorming, now that I've really unlocked this authenticity, there's so many things to work out now because I'm in this new world. I'm able to just show up authentically. I feel like I have infinite energy. So I'm working out, I feel like I can have multiple containers and offerings. Someone on the live stream actually asked, they were like, hey, I can't afford the one-on-one coaching that you're doing. Is there any other way I can support you? And that got me thinking. I was like, maybe this could be a time to open up channel membership. So that's something I'm considering. Let me know if you'd be interested in just, a small way to support me, to tap into the journey, etc. Possible ideas for offerings there would be maybe a lower tier just for support, and you get the badge on your comments, priority reply, etc. And maybe if I still get into the live streams, I could also do 1 or 2 live streams a month for a higher tier, maybe. Just throwing it out there and thinking about it. But yeah, it's super interesting, and eventually I'll do another creator mind map where I lay this all out. But I also have my Patreon has become my hub for my meditation sessions that I do for free or by donation. So there is a way to donate on Patreon, but I'm like, I kind of have multiple communities and audiences here. How can I create offerings for everybody, right? The deepest we can go together is the one-on-one mentorship. But then, it seems like I may be able to have all these other different communities, group chats with various different offerings and stuff. So I'm excited to see how it all unfolds. I hope you found this video helpful or inspiring in some way. And my plug at the end there got very convoluted, but links are in the description of what's currently going on and ways you can connect with me. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.